This will be a day to remember. A most auspicious day, as foretold by the Three. With help of this great Roman general, we finally reach an understanding and turn this most unfortunate conflict into an opportunity for our people. Let us now sign this treaty and begin this new era. No longer will we live our lives in fear. I believe my friend would like to say a few words to commemorate this occasion. Well said. For the sake of our people, that must be the goal we ever strive towards. Let us drink to our...
Death to the traitors!
Finally, this tedious charade was starting to wear on me.
Stop right there! You! I don't recognize you.
Salve, Felix. How are you today?
Thank you for asking, Aquilinus. I would describe myself as... amused?
You despicable snake!
Careful, Kenturio. He looks fragile.
I don't care! Son of a whore!
Do what you want. You have achieved nothing. I am but an instrument to death's will. Besides, who's going to believe you, Legate? What do I get in return? Put yourself in my place for a moment. It doesn't matter if my actions were justified. The Senate will crucify me for what I've done. And if I don't cooperate? What? Will you kill me? Seems like a lose-lose situation to me.
An interesting conundrum indeed. However, if you intend to not testify at all, keeping you alive is a useless action. In fact, one advantage of killing you would be to experience the relief of revenge achieved, however temporarily.
What?
He's threatening you. Politely.
Is that all you can offer me? Threats? Tempting. This offer is difficult to refuse. If you double-cross me, though, I will find you. What do you want to know? Irrelevant. They were mercenaries. I hired them on Consul Vitellius's behalf. You are so obsessed with your family and your own career, you can't see the big picture. Take a step back. We did not risk a war with Gaul. The war was the goal. Don't get me wrong, the consul hoped your death would start the war. Unfortunately for him, you are exceptionally good at eluding death. But your survival turned out to be a boon in the grand scheme of things. I may as well tell you that I don't believe Vitellius Lurco could have won this war without you. He isn't specifically trying to destroy your family. Consul Vitellius thinks the constant bickering of senators hurts Rome. What we need is a strong leader who would carry the Republic into a new age. Lurco is that man. Your father was one of the many who disagreed. You, on the other hand, not only survived, but also caused a lot of complications for him. At this point, it is personal. It is quite simple, actually. The consul thinks Rome has grown too complacent, too sluggish. It takes an eternity to reach any decisions in the Senate. And while arrogant senators spend valuable time and resources practicing their art of rhetorics, our enemies mobilize. Our glorious republic controls a vast territory, but that also means our enemies are numerous. The moment they band together, Rome will be doomed. Vitellius Lurco is a man of action. He is not afraid to bend the law for the benefit of the people. People like him are born to lead. But our system never bestows them the power to do so.
Unless?
Unless Rome is in a crisis. That would necessitate the appointment of a dictator. A consul with extraordinary power, whose sole objective is saving Rome. Many people would willingly die for such a cause. It's a small price to pay for progress.
Well done. It is impressive to see your elite Praetorian Guard at work. Now that you have what you need, proving conclusively it wasn't we who attacked your people, I am sure you can take your legions and leave.
Is this what he promised you? He can't do that. He doesn't have the power. Even if he did, there is no way we can retreat. Rome was attacked, and it needs to save face.
I am sure he can find a way. That is not good enough. I shall give you some time to consider your problem. Come up with a way to stop this war, and I will hand your witness over to you. Until then, he will be our esteemed guest. Now, kindly leave my city. For this time, it is your turn to bring me good news. When you are defeated, pray to your ancestors that I hold more sway over my people than you do over yours.
The consul has requested that you join him at the siege of Alesia. Legio Ferrata has been erecting fortifications. Of course, Legate. They're not as experienced or disciplined as Weaktrix, but they know how to build a sturdy wall at least. Hopefully our legions will be able to fight more or less independently. Our legionari have no wish to mingle with those Ferrata men. This will surely be the final strike of the campaign. Once Alesia is taken, the Gauls will be broken, and we will return to Rome directly. If you have any more business to attend to here in Gaul, you should get it out of the way first.
Look at this pathetic excuse for fortifications. How could these barbarians ever hope to stand against the might of Rome?
They may look primitive, Consul, but I assure you, this city's defenses are formidable. We will need to be clever about this.
As Calida says, it's a well-defended city. The walls are quite high and sturdy, and they make good use of natural terrain. It reminds me of Algila in some ways. Legio Ferrata has worked day and night to encircle Alesia with walls and trenches. The aim is to prevent them escaping.
I wonder how we may use this trench to our advantage.
There's a river flowing nearby, so they have access to a nigh infinite source of water. That being said, Vercingetorix has over 6,000 troops garrisoned in Alesia. No city can support that for long.
A prolonged siege is out of the question. 6,000 barbarians stand no chance against our legions. Let's make this a spectacular end to my campaign. Very well. I trust your instincts on this, Legate.
As you command. Legio Victrix will form an elite team to quickly take out the strongest defenders.
But I don't think you should lead this spearhead, Legate. Everyone's attention will be on that group. Remember Calcedon? If we can get a team inside the city again while everyone's eyes are on the front gate, think of the mess we could make.
I like this plan. It's bold, and the Gauls will not expect such deception from us. Make it happen.
There's one more problem, Legate. We know the Gauls will come to the aid of their king. Do we have a plan for dealing with their reinforcements? They would have to attack our rear. We could deal with an attack from one side, but Vercingetorix is no fool. He may launch an assault from inside at the same time.
Trapped between two Gallic forces, we may have great difficulties indeed.
Vercingetorix is a good tactician. I sensed it at once. He will not miss that kind of opportunity.
Details are sketchy. But it looks like the entirety of Gallia is taking up arms to save their king. We can't ignore them. The lesser chieftains who swore fealty to Vercingetorix. I do not expect anything tactically impressive from them, but even a disorganized assault would harm our plans.
The trench is deep enough to slow them down, but I doubt it'll stop them. I'm afraid for that, we may need divine intervention.
Or a lot of water.
There's that glint in your eye again. You have a crazy idea, don't you?
Whenever I come up with a brilliant idea, you call it crazy, but I think this will work. We simply lure them in and redirect the river into the trench. The Consul's Legion built a small dam between the trench and the river. That can easily be destroyed.
It would work, and I would love to see it.
They will panic and be routed. Trust me, I have seen this kind of thing before.
You people worry far too much. Put your faith in the impeccable discipline and courage of our Legionari. We will prevail.
Of course, Consul. Whatever the Gauls throw at us, our men will withstand.
Right. Well, many duties await me elsewhere. Good luck to you. I'll see you again on the field of battle.
Blustering fool.
Good. Now that he is gone, we can speak more freely.
Did you notice how eager he was about Khalida's plan? That involves putting ourselves in as much danger as possible?
So it has come to this. We're helping our enemies now.
We are doing our jobs. Vercingetorix left us with no choice.
I'm sure we can find a way to perform our duty and still not help our enemies. I'm pretty sure they'll try to take him out, just like they got rid of Claudius Tranquillus.
Reaching him in the middle of a massive assault on the city, and getting him out alive will be no simple feat.
I have no problem with that.
Well, I do. They may be serving a villain, but that's simply their duty. Killing a consul's personal guards will be a grave criminal offense. Then I will defend myself.
It would be unfortunate if one of them perishes by our hands. That could give Lurko reason to prosecute us. Doubtful. I believe he simply wants us to stop the attack. That's not something we can do.
That will be difficult, but we can try.
I thought I understood the Romans. I believed your greatest strength was that you always stand together, never fighting amongst each other as we do. But I was wrong. You've killed your own people, and yet you have still defeated me. Finish me then. Let me die with honor.
It is customary for vanquished kings to be taken through the streets in the triumph of a victorious imperator, and strangled in public.
He fought bravely. He deserved neither disgrace nor humiliation, but a warrior's death.
I agree with that. Kill him now. It will be dignified.
He's no threat anymore. Even if he wanted to take up arms against Rome again, no one will follow him after this.
Let him be a sort of Gallic Cincinnatus, returning to his farm after serving his people, albeit not as successfully.
And live the rest of my days in disgrace as the man who lost the freedom of Gallia. If that is your judgment, then I accept.
Victory! The Gauls are surrendering!
Ha! That was easy.
We've killed 2 Roman officers. That's not good at all.
I'm impressed. It seems Lurko continues to underestimate you. You do have exactly what you need now. Me. But I wonder how the Senate will react to the circumstances of my capture.
He's right. We need to be on our way to Rome as soon as possible. Let us not give Lurko time to retaliate.
Arwe Legate and the victorious Legion. Few legions have earned their names as thoroughly as yours. It is good to see you again. Legio Ferrata arrived and was disbanded a week ago. I trust by now you know the procedure. Clarity of vision, a commendable but easily forgotten virtue. You have to discuss certain things with your companions, no doubt. Let me know when you're ready.
We should move. Ask yourself, what is my enemy doing right now? He who is on the offensive always has the advantage. To prepare for a defense, you must start defending early. I am not wrong. Then we shall suffer, but it will not be due to your actions. I am no simple Servus. We chose to follow you, whether we like it or not. A man carves his own destiny. If I shall suffer as a result, so be it. I am not in your place, and for that I am happy. You are not my enemy. Lurko is. If I was Lurko, I would try to kill you now. He has everything to lose if he does not. Old Cineros says being free is not a legal status, but a state of mind. I earned my freedom before we met. But it was you who taught me to be truly free. For that, I'm thankful.
Domine? Your frustration is natural, but I think the personal stakes involved cloud your mind. Surely you have solved more difficult riddles in your life. Know that we have done all we can. It is time to cast the die and see how it lands. I am no advocate, but when it comes to evidence, I doubt we can get more or better. If it isn't, there is not much we can do anyway. I have lived a full and bountiful life. This old man has witnessed so many things. I've found everything I've been looking for. Death is not to be feared. Young man, I've been taking care of your family since long before you were born. Now focus on the task ahead and make sure they never need me again. If you think I've been following you because I'm your Sowers, you're still a child in mind. I've been free for a long time now.
This is a bad idea. Last time I saw Lurko, he was angry, but he was not in a panic. There's another trick up his sleeve. I'm certain of it. There is always a way. The years I've spent with you taught me that over and over again. It's what I would do. Lurko is a dangerous foe because he knows exactly when to lie and when to tell the truth. He will tell the Senate that we have murdered his entire Praetorian Guard. You know that's not a lie. I've seen no evidence to suggest the man has one. People will still be able to oppose you, and this time you'll have to kill a lot of people, not just those who deserve it. This time our victims will be Roman. I'm good at killing people, and you somehow keep attracting people in need of killing. What I've done for you still seems less than what you've done for me.
Tell me, why do we not just march whole legion into Rome and push Lurko off throne? It has special chair for man in charge, does it not? Call it what you will. I am not bloodthirsty. I hope you know this by now. But when it is necessary to fight, you must fight. Rome is not as I had hoped, before I saw it with my own eyes. There is so much squalor and suffering. In Wild, it is possible for man to have dignity, even in poverty. In city, this is not so. Change is nothing to be feared. Sometimes it brings improvement, sometimes destruction. But status quo is so destructive already. Anyway, I don't think I will stay here after we are done. It's time for me to face my past and move on.
We are at the end now. I think we have enough evidence to get that bastard exiled forever. We will stride into the Pomerium as civilians once more, with pride in our eyes. That is not an option. We'll need to make sure everyone understands what happened. We cannot count on the facts to speak for themselves. They will certainly take some convincing. It is unfortunate that we had to kill a few Praetorians. But let us not forget the fact that they were criminals. What do you mean? Walk into Rome with swords in our hands? That would make us look like villains. Indeed, that whole mess with Lucia taught me that. So then the question is what you prefer, the truth or what's written. It's been a pleasure, genuinely. You always stood by my side, even if it was against your own interests. I will never forget that.
Shall we store your weapons at the villa, as usual?
Are you sure? What makes you think you can win a battle of words against Lurko?
Certainly, but keep in mind he has enough evidence to condemn all of us as well. Even if we can destroy him and get him exiled, it may well cost us our own lives. Are you ready to pay that price?
You would question our resolve. Of course we will follow you, like we have followed you until now.
Slow down. What if I don't want to be part of a potential murder trial?
Does that mean you will not come with us?
All I'm saying is I would like to at least be asked.
We have faced many battles together. But it takes real courage to face certain death.
There is no need for this kind of doom and gloom. We can convince the Senate. Let us not base all our plans on the worst possible outcome.
This is the right thing to do. The gods shall favor us. Are you with us, Calendar?
Of course I am.
It seems you have reached a decision. Very well. For a moment I had my doubts about you. For that I apologize.
Right. Let's go celebrate that we all made it back alive. First round is on me.
Remember what Domina used to say? An empty stomach breeds an empty mind. And you will need your mind. Our upcoming battle cannot be won with a blade. So do I. One wonders, could we have done more to prevent her demise? But cheating fate is no trivial task. Well, it is best not to dwell in the past. It has taken much to get here, and we have achieved many great things. It was a pleasure watching you grow and become the great commander you are. What will you do after everything is said and done? Precisely. We can't afford to underestimate our opponent at this stage.
Kikero and I will meet you in the Senate tomorrow morning to prepare for the trial.
Speak as if your life depends on it. In many ways, it may.
Speaking of that trial...
It's so good to see you again. And looking well. I've been well. The children are growing so fast, you probably won't even recognize them.
Having children has completely changed my perspective. It's incredible how your priorities shift.
Tiberius would like to tell you about something important.
Indeed. I would like to testify on your behalf tomorrow, at the trial. Against my brother. We are already in a great deal of danger. My brother is becoming completely unhinged lately.
He's out of control. I genuinely fear he may have our own children killed, because they carry your blood.
If you allow me to comment, your testimony will be an incredible boon for our trial tomorrow. Thank you.
My path to atonement will be a long one. But this will be a big first step on the way.
We must return home, before Lurko catches wind who we are visiting.
I'll see you tomorrow at the trial. Good luck.
You should get some rest. Tomorrow's trial will require you to have your wits about you. Those who try to predict the future will only make a laughing stock of themselves. Those who are prepared for all eventualities win in the end. It was not only my duty, but my pleasure as well. Your father made me promise to take care of you, no matter what. Looking at you now, I can only feel pride. I just wish your father were alive to see these days. I've been through much, but I have to admit, these days I feel old. I think I want to see my homeland again. To tell you the truth, I feel like I'm ready to die. It would be nice to see Halicarnassos again first. Thank you.
What's on your mind? Your cause is just, and I believe we can convince the Senate. However, our opponent is devious. That worries me. I worry that he will not obey the will of the Senate if the result fails to be in his favor. Will you obey the Senate if you lose? A rhetorical one. I knew you would give that answer. If it were not, our republic would be doomed. Those with the greatest power must be under the most exacting scrutiny. But to answer the question in the spirit I think it was asked, we have Kikero on our side, the second consul. This sort of situation is precisely why there are two.
It is a good day, my friend. I've been thinking. You've done the right thing by not crossing the Rubicon with the Legion. It's bigger than you or me. Our republic is built on certain pillars. To remove just one such pillar might destroy our society. Callida was a bit preoccupied. She's concerned about Corvinus. You know that sneaky bastard is still unaccounted for. They won't. The Senate is a virtuous and wise institution. They'll see the truth of the matter. Cicero is probably the best advocate in the Republic, and he's the consul. But what do I know? I'm just a soldier. I hope you're right.
We will have order in the Senate now! Debating the clarity of the augury will not be productive. The consul himself stands accused. Nothing could be of higher importance. Any other relationes shall be set aside. The result of this relatio again shall be decided per discussionem, and before the sun sets. You may continue, consul, but please refrain from delving deeper into matters completely unrelated to our discussion.
Naturally. May I restate the necessity of using my actual title, Dictator, instead of Consul? Do you even know what Dictator in Perpetuo means?
The legatus has a point. Your title was granted for a limited time in order to solve a crisis. Even though the time has not passed, we can certainly say the crisis exists no more.
I beg to differ. The crisis has evidently not passed. It has merely changed context. Allow my colleague Senator Antonius to display with clarity how unprecedented and absurd this relatio is.
Dear Senators, first let us consider the source and the spirit of the regulation that allows us to appoint a consul to the position of dictator. And yet, despite all this, we somehow ended up here accusing the very man who was tasked with the prevention of this crisis.
Thank you, Senator, for this detailed and above all long explanation of something we all knew. Our memories have been thoroughly refreshed. If that will be all, we will finally discuss the evidence presented against the consul. Let us consider the events leading to the capture of Marcus Aurelius Cotta. Is it true that you were collaborating with Mithridates Megas?
Rumors. Nothing but rumors, maliciously circulated by my enemies, the enemies of the state. I hope you remember that there was absolutely nothing to suggest those rumors had any basis in fact. My fellow consul, honorable senators, are we here to gossip like housewives or to discuss proper matters of state?
Indeed. And I do believe I have credibility here.
You.
I know you must be surprised. And I'm sure when I give a detailed account of your business relationships with Mithridates, our fellow senators will be equally surprised.
I always knew you were jealous of me, Tiberius. But I never thought you'd be foolish enough to testify against me in this manufactured case. If the Senate finds me guilty, you will receive the same sentence.
I do not intend to. I deserve to burn, and so do you, brother. Consul, senators, Romans, let me tell you a story about Mithridates Megas and my brother.
Illuminating.
Are you truly illuminated by a madman's ravings? Tiberius may be my brother, but his envy of my position is well known. He hardly qualifies as an impartial witness.
Can any witness be truly impartial? Shall we perhaps talk about the infamous invasion of Egypt?
Infamous is the correct word for it. The legatus ignited a war in a land that was already a province of Rome. He brought chaos and terror to Africa. The following unlawful invasion of Egypt caused the extinction of the Ptolemaic dynasty, all in service of unrealistic political ambitions. That was certainly a tragedy, but the Senate knows that was Ptolemy's doing. Indeed, that was the justification for declaring war in the first place.
I don't think either of you has any evidence to back these claims.
This has happened before, Senators. The selfish enemies of our people supporting our foes by undermining honorable people like Vitellius Lorco. I will recount the story for the benefit of the Senate.
Oh, must you? Once again, this was a completely unnecessary digression.
Once more, I must direct your attention to the utter lack of credible witnesses. Neither this legendary ledger nor the fictional accountant who wrote it are anywhere to be seen.
Then explain your presence in Alexandria at the time of the battle. Why would Ptolemy, who at the time was waging war against Rome, be on friendly terms with you?
I was trying to clean up the diplomatic mess created by your legatus.
Interesting how you just tried to cast the legatus as a foe. He was, of course, serving Rome at the time, and his campaign was declared bellum justum et pium by the Fetiales. Let us end by discussing the recent campaign against the barbarians of Gallia. You did kill members of the dictator's Praetorian Guard, didn't you, Legate?
Pray tell, why would my Praetorian Guard attack you?
Indeed, why would one Praetorian Guard attack another? Enlighten us, Dictator.
Is that for me to answer? He should answer first.
I see.
I see Senator Antonius has something to add.
Oh, right. I thank you for this opportunity to talk about the history of foreign leaders being represented at the Senate. First of all,
once again, thank you for your detailed explanation of this important issue, Senator. Shall we finally proceed to decide now?
We certainly shall not. The sun has set and a decision was not reached. I believe this relatio is to be declared undecided.
Dictator Lurco is correct, Legate. A decision has to be reached by sunset. And if not, the relatio will be undecided. But in light of the overwhelming and damning evidence against the dictator, I believe this relatio deserves a proper decision. We reconvene tomorrow at sunrise for the final decision. This shall give the dictator a fair chance to defend himself. One final time. This session is at an end.
Let's wait until everyone has left, so we can talk to Kikoro in private.
I admit I was rooting for you, but you really did defend your case excellently. Tomorrow's hearing will be a formality. You've pretty much won.
What you're doing is quite admirable. I did not expect anything less, but it still warrants praise. A lesser person might have been tempted to use their legion against Rome. However, I want to be certain that you understand the gravity of what you've done. You have murdered the Praetorian Guard of a sitting consul. There may yet be consequences. The Senate is made of men. It is as moral as the people who inhabit the building.
I think the risks themselves are irrelevant at this point. The Senate has been convinced of Lurco's guilt.
Despite his futile stalling, you've made it clear to everyone that Vitellius Lurco's war in Gallia was nothing but a power grab. It serves no purpose to speculate about his motivations. All that matters is that the Senate has been convinced.
It's best to refrain from mentioning these accusations unless we can prove them. Compared to the level of treason implied, the murder of 2 Romans seems trivial. Should he repeat his accusations of murder, it is my hope to use precisely this argument to shield you from them. What is left for him to do? All legal options are exhausted. His legion is disbanded. Even Wixie is finished. And after today, his support in the Senate is gone.
Yet he remains at large until tomorrow. His lack of options may just make him desperate. I agree. We must stay vigilant.
What do you have there?
Food for the Legatus and his friends.
Let me have a taste.
It's for the Domini only.
My Dominus does not eat anything until I've tasted it.
Well, all right then.
Delicious.
That's odd. I haven't ordered any food to be brought here.
There is no eating in the Senate.
Oh, excuse me. I feel dizzy all of a sudden. There is an odd taste to this food.
Sit down, if you feel unwell.
I can't breathe.
The food was poisoned. Where did that sower go?
Stay with him. I'll get help.
Armed men have entered the forum.
We brought your weapons.
Old man. He's dead. Lurko. I shall skin your back and lay you on salt. I shall feed your cock to street dogs.
Marlon! Grieve later, Bestia. They're here.
Corvinus! That honorless piece of shit! He got away!
And Skyewala has your sister. We'll need to get her out of that villa.
He's dead.
I'm sorry. He was a good man. My friend. Your sister.
Meet us in the Regia when your family is safe. Our dear Pontifex, Maximus Aurelius Cotta, will be good to have on our side.
We have basically already won. This attack represents a clear legal victory.
Marcus, this is not the time.
Help us! I'm trying to protect my wife.
Let us even the odds then.
They came out of nowhere. How did they get past the guards? I injured my uncle. If it wasn't for Tiberius, I'd be dead. He selflessly threw himself in front of his own brother's brutes.
May I remind you she happens to be my wife as well. I was a fool to entrust my protection to my brother's men. He knows you won your case in the Senate, and for the first time in his life, he's terrified. He's going to kill all of you. He still believes he can consolidate his power if you're gone. Ever since you ruined our schemes in Greece, you and your friends are the only people he truly fears. And despite all he's done, you've always managed to survive and come out on top. This is his final chance to get rid of you for good. What kind of man would stand idly by while his own brother tries to murder his wife?
It's been 10 years. People change. Tiberius is a good man and a good father. He's never laid a hand on me.
It was political at first, but in time I came to love Liliana more than anything in the world. The Consul of Rome organizing an attack to kill a war hero. That's insane. No one would have believed me. Besides, my brother is a dictator. He's the only real authority here. It wasn't something I did lightly. I know his crimes reflect upon me and my family.
I'm glad you did it. Both of you. He would have come for us no matter what, I'm certain of that.
I really think you should get out of here.
You humble me with your courage. I will keep her safe.
Enough chit-chat. Go, now!
You are alive.
Of course he would. The coward. I'm so glad your family is safe now.
I could not believe my ears when Cato told me about Lurko's betrayal. This shall not go unpunished.
He will need to come up with a very good reason for doing this.
I'd like to see him try. Truly? What an unexpected turn of events. I suppose there is good in everyone, except Lurko, I would venture.
What if he comes back for us? I don't believe anyone close to you is safe.
Your faith is inspiring.
We need to seize the initiative. Corvinus can't be too far away. As long as he's in the wind, we can't be safe.
Maybe, but it'll take some time, and we don't have much to spare.
I know where he is.
Maybe I can ask some of my friends in the Senate. Lyurko must have allies, and perhaps some of them know a few things.
Highly unlikely. Chances are not even Lyurko knows where that man is.
I know where he is.
An augury might reveal his location.
Will we set a chicken loose in the streets of Rome and hope that it guides us to him? Hardly.
I know where he is! All right, there's no need to yell.
He is at Campus Martius, hiding with a group of gladiators he has hired. We can go there and get him. These are men I have fought beside in the arena, who looked up to me once. I am certain. What if it is? Do we have a choice? He killed my magister. I will make no promises. Lucius Erucius Corvinus! We're here! Come out and play!
The entire ensemble is here. I guess you're ready for the final act. I have to admit, I'm impressed. I did not expect you to be able to find this place. Pay no heed to his words. We work for the consul himself. Vitellius Lurko will ensure that no punishment of any kind will befall us.
You, Iberius, and you, Sisenna. You fought for us all those years ago when we took back the Legatus' villa.
I do remember you. You paid a fair price for our work.
It's bad luck and worse business to kill a former employer. Come, let's leave. This stingy son of a dog can fight his own fights.
I will skin your face and drink from your skull.
A charming notion, but improbable. May I propose a different option?
There are no options. You will die now.
Or we can be sensible about this and keep him alive. He probably knows a lot about Lordco's plans. Besides, Corvinus is a capable and smart warrior. He'd be useful to us. Killing him will serve no purpose.
It will bring me great satisfaction.
Finally, we can stop watching our backs. Corvinus, you are under arrest for the attempted murder of this man and the actual murder of his service. You're coming with us. Corvinus is inside. His attitude has become quite a bit more cooperative overnight. He will talk if he survives, meaning if we can restrain Bestia. We all have different ways of dealing with grief. I've sent him away. He's probably drowning his sorrows in wine now. The consul has announced that he wants to question this criminal himself, so I expect him to send some of his lictors our way. We are prepared for them. Always. She was supposed to be here. I don't know what she's doing. At once.
Everything is silent. He whimpers like a wounded dog. But silence is in the air. He tried to lick me. His tongue is, but not all his teeth. He is not worth saving. For now, he is evil. Does not matter if he dies. He deserves eternal torment. Fine.
Well, here we go again. You want to try your hand at torturing me as well? And if I don't want to answer? Then why am I alive? Ask then. Let's get this over with. For too long, he hired me back when he assumed control of Weeksy. Of course not. Weeksy existed in one form or another for hundreds of years. Felix is only the latest of its commanders. I'm no fanatic, though. He merely hired me as a contingency. I am loyal to my contract. Besides, all of his loyal guards are dead, thanks to you. If I have to choose between loyalty and death, I don't have to ponder my options for long. It's not just money. Lurko is a very intelligent man, and I respect that. He plans ahead, and he rarely leaves things to chance. I honestly don't know. He is very good at keeping information contained. I only know what I need to know. Not out of any personal animosity. With Marcellus and his useless brutes gone, it was up to me to finish the job. You asked the right question. He still has many allies in high places. Why would he risk it, indeed? My job was simply to get rid of you. The consul obviously hoped you'd get yourself killed in Gallia. I guess this was his contingency plan. You of all people should know that warfare is about positioning. Once you can cover any possible move your foe might make, victory is a natural outcome. Merely by trying to win from such a position, your enemy defeats himself. I would not bet on that. Look, I'm getting bored of this. We both know you're not going to kill me, and I've told you all I know. Frankly, none of this is any use to you. For all I know, me getting caught is part of Lurko's plan. So, hand me over to the authorities and let me face charges. Because that would be illegal, and you would have defeated yourself. It will never come to that.
No problem. See you soon.
Did he talk?
That is comforting. I'm glad we have him.
What do we do now?
This is so unlike him. Usually he has a plan. I wonder if the whole Corvinus business was a distraction. Distraction from what?
That could be a benefit of all this, but if you couldn't make him talk...
I might want to meet him myself. If you ask the right questions, you can make anyone talk.
I thought they'd be with you. I haven't seen any of your companions since yesterday.
Come to think of it, Cato wanted to meet us here too. But he's late.
I took precautions. The Consul of Rome cannot leave the city unnoticed.
He should be here any moment now. Don't worry. Cato is a smart man who knows how to handle a gladius.
There he is.
Your Praetorian Guard is captured in front of the Senate. We must hurry. It seems he has them arrested for a number of crimes.
He is still dictator. He can do whatever he wants.
I fear there is nothing we can do to stop him within the bounds of the law.
Political theatre. He has gathered a crowd and he's calling you out. You must be very careful. The lives of your friends are at stake. I'll try to gather some praetores. This is blatantly illegal, but I guess he's finally given up all pretense.
He is desperate. Be very careful. Desperate men do stupid things. I'll come with you to witness the situation.
Keep him occupied until I can bring help. Don't antagonize him.
I will come with you as well.
Traitor to the Republic! Murderer of Romans! Enemy of the people! I have had your co-conspirators arrested, and they are patiently waiting for their moment of execution. But my own patience is wearing thin. I know villains like you do not have a sense of honor or virtue. Nevertheless, I know you were at least born Roman. If you have a speck of honor left, confess and surrender.
Consul, what are you doing? You can't publicly execute people without trial. Our laws forbid such despotism.
As dictator, prescription is well within my rights. The people of Rome saw fit to grant me that power. Who are you to question the wisdom of the people? As long as Rome remains in crisis, I shall remain dictator. Your traitor friends are rightfully apprehended. If you want them, you'll have to go through me. It clearly isn't. You are still alive, aren't you? The Gauls were going to attack Rome eventually. I just made sure their attack took place on our terms. Perhaps, perhaps not. But now we have conquered Gallia. There is no perhaps. We have the absolute control. Vanquish your enemies before they can vanquish you. This is what true leadership looks like. Unless your intention is to bore me to death, I would like to start executing these criminals.
This is horseshit! Those people are heroes!
They've done nothing wrong! Let them go!
You have lost your control, Lurko. Look at the faces of these people, your fellow citizens. They're afraid.
Only criminals and traitors should be afraid of me.
They're afraid of what you have turned the Republic into. That fear will turn into anger the moment anyone decides to stand up and protect the Republic.
You're a good tactician. Consider your position now. Your prisoners are the only advantage you possess. But they're only valuable while they're still alive. The Legatus can wait until you turn yourself into a murderer.
Or we can simply kill you and save them all. Then you will have achieved nothing here.
You wouldn't do that. You're men of law and order.
Do not let us take your vengeance away. Let us die in honor.
Believe me, I don't want to die. But I also don't want to see you dead.
Don't let him kill us like this. Whatever comes next, we will stand by your side. We will weather the storm as one.
Don't do it, my friend! If you strike him down now, you'll give him legitimate cause to kill you! We are not worth that sacrifice! They say you're not a true hero until you die.
Enough! Make your decision!
What are you doing? You're giving up the high ground. This is what he wants. You'll be no better than him.
Don't listen to Kikero. The lives of your friends are worth more than your career. Let us end this.
Step away from the consul. It pains me to say this, but you'll have to come with us.
Do as the Praetor says. There's not much I can do at this point.
Why did you do this? Everything we've ever done, was it all for nothing in the end?
It's a selfless act, Kaiser. The final sacrifice of the finest commander Rome has ever known.
If you think that, you are maybe not as smart as you seem.
Let's go.
You look miserable. You don't smell like you've had a bath in a while.
I had a chat with Kato. He says not even Kikero can save you. Why did you do it? We were ready to die for you. Thank you.
I see no reason why we have to leave you in there. You may be waiting to be exiled, but they will never let you live. You're too dangerous. So, do you want to get out of here?
That is for us to decide.
Enough, Kaiso. He made his decision. We must respect it.
Wale, my friend, I will never forget you.
You did well. You did very well. Thank you.
Thank you for showing me the very best of Rome.
The spirits will remember you. The winds will sing your name in their songs. This is not the end.
The sacrifice of the savior of Rome has long since passed into legend. The historian's task is often to distill true events from the myths that are shared among people. But in this case, it proves nearly impossible to do so. It is said that the execution of Rome's savior led to 12 days of sorrow among its people. His corpse was taken from the temple by a mob stricken mad with grief and burned in the forum on a pyre built from the stolen furniture of every building on the Capitolium. Senators, eager to curry populist favor, declared his day of death to be a public holiday. Many built shrines of worship and reverence to their sacrificed hero. Whether these accounts are untrue or perhaps exaggerated, one thing is beyond doubt. Though he had given his life to do so, he had saved the Republic from the brink of tyranny and the temptation of empire. It is thanks to his noble sacrifice that our democracy has only grown stronger and that our Republic endures to this day. Cynaros. Once he had been an athlete, a wrestler, and a troublemaker. But in our story, he was a Servus, a protector, and a mentor. He had died diligently performing the task to which he had devoted himself, protecting his ward. Cinyros was given a tomb in Rome's finest cemetery, next to his old Dominus, whose death had incited this story. Though his death had been unexpected, he met his end with dignity and resolve. He had received forgiveness and, after a fashion, vindication for the mistakes of his youth. He was missed by all those who knew him. Hardened by guilt and grief, Caeso left Rome. He brought Lucia and their daughter with him. Though their relationship never reached the stormy heights of his lost love, their devotion to their child drew them together, and their affection for each other grew stronger through the years. Lucia was originally from Cisalpine Gallia, and she brought the disillusioned Kenchurio back to her homelands, where they found a peaceful place to settle. Together, they lived happily ever after. Despite her disillusionment with Rome and everything it stood for, Callida was at least finally vindicated in the eyes of the law. Around that same time, her mother passed away, and Callida reconciled with her brother Aulus, who she forgave for not standing up to their parents. Thanks to Callida's talent for spycraft, she deftly maneuvered the turmoil that swept across Rome in the wake of her friend's execution. And with her help, her family business thrived. After the death of his friend, Bestia returned to the arena once more. But he was no longer a gladiator. His new vocation was to teach Pancration, inspired by the example of his Magister Cinyros. He applied himself to this new calling with every bit of the vigor and determination that had made him a champion before. As soon as things had quieted down, Bestia traveled to Africa once more to look for his sister. He did find her and bring her home, and she lived happily there for the rest of her life. With nothing left to keep her in Rome, Deianira returned to her homelands in Scythia, where she reconnected with her family. Far from condemning her for her sister's death as she had feared, they were all overjoyed to have at least one of their daughters back. In time, Deianira built a new family in Scythia and became a revered matriarch of her tribe. She never left them again. Vitellius Scaevola left Roman politics and moved to Upper Latium with his wife Liviana, where they raised their children together in peace. Cato remained an important figure in Roman politics, grudgingly respected even by those among the population who desired change. He remained a defender of the patrician class, a shield against the pandering and opportunism of more populist voices. He himself was elected consul twice throughout his life, and his years in the position were generally favorably regarded. Cicero served one more year as consul before his retirement. In his old days, he lived a quiet life on a farm in Sicily, where he was greatly beloved by the people for his time as quaestor. He continued to write many books on politics and law. With Mithridates dead and his sons lacking his ability to rule, Pontus was soon annexed by Rome. The region never again rose to prominence. With Zenobia in charge of Musia, it became once more a peaceful part of the Roman province of Asia Minor. With her focus on trade and strong ties to the neighboring regions, her people enjoyed a period of great prosperity. Grateful for the mercy he had been shown, and no longer with Mithridates to tempt his greed, Damianos quickly resumed political leadership of Thracia. Here, the gladiator rebellion that had started in his school was threatening to spiral out of control. Thanks to Damianos, the gladiators were pacified quickly, and without inordinate bloodshed. With the death of the Pharaoh Ptolemy and Queen Cleopatra, the Ptolemaic dynasty had fallen. Despite the attempts of Rome to hold the nation together under their rule, a bloody war of succession soon arose between various parties claiming to be descendants of the pharaoh. Rome was forced to send its legions to Egypt once again to restore stability by crushing the enemies of the Republic and rule Egypt with an iron fist. With the death of Cleopatra and under the steady guidance of Lunya, Nezarmenes once more became a peaceful and prosperous part of Africa Proconsularis, firmly aligned with Rome. As the eldest and most respected elder of the Berber tribes, Lunya became a singular figure of leadership and respect in the region. She was said to be more than 100 years old when she died. After traveling all across Africa for many years, going wherever her instincts took her, Raya eventually returned to Memphis and to the service of Tener at the Temple of Ubasti. When her mentor passed away, Raya naturally assumed the mantle as High Priestess of the Cat Goddess. Though the old faith was dwindling, she was greatly beloved by many, and her temple prospered, always home to many, many, many cats. With Diwitiacus once more assuming rulership of the Aedui, the tribe maintained a strong alliance with Rome, and through it, they greatly prospered. With the aid of the Aedui, Gallia slowly unified under Roman rule, and civilization soon began to creep into those lands in the form of paved roads, aqueducts, and fortified Roman towns. In his old age, did the Druid ever regret hastening the absorption and suppression of his own faith and culture? We will never know. The once proud and strong Arwerni were greatly reduced by the defeat of Vercingetorix, but his survival gave them hope. His will to make war upon Rome had been crushed, but he remained a strong figure of leadership among his people, even despite his failures. With his guidance, the tribes of Gallia remained unified and somewhat at peace, and vestiges of their culture and traditions survived their gradual subjugation under Rome. In this work, I have done my best to recount the history of this fascinating period, truthfully and accurately. As I have scoured the sources and spoken to many who claimed to have heard the story from someone who was there at the time, one thing that has stood out to me is the pivotal moments along the way where our story could have turned out very differently. If the savior of Rome had fled into exile, would the absence of such a shining example of duty and sacrifice have left the Senate door open for another aspiring despot to take the throne? Or, if Vitellius Lurco had not been struck down on that stage, would the death of an innocent hero of Rome have served as an equally strong example to the citizens and senators? Most intriguingly of all, if the Legion had crossed the Rubicon on that fateful day, might Rome now be no longer a republic, but an empire? One should always take care when second-guessing historical figures with the benefit of hindsight. Here in the present, there will never truly be a way for you to know how you might have acted if you had lived in the past. Nor can you ever be certain how history will remember you.